Now in politics, the National Council of the New Patriotic Party has decided that it is only members of the council who will participate in the runoff between Boakye Agyarko and Francis Addai-Nimoh. The National Council met on the matter on Wednesday and concluded that a runoff should be held, but not all the 961 delegates will take part in the polls on September 2. There is more in this report.
The meeting was attended by both members of the National Council and the National Executive Committee. Party stalwarts present included President Akufo-Addo, Roads Minister Kwesi Amoako-Attah, who is the chairperson of the Disciplinary Committee of the party, Chief of Staff Frema Osei Opare, former Chairman Peter McMenu, Majority Leader Osei Che Mensah Bonsu, Deputy Majority Leader Apenyo Maken, and some regional and national executives of the party. Even though most of the persons present appear to have their own choice on who should lead the party into the 2024 election, the most important question on their minds was how the tie situation between Boakye Agyarko and Francis Addai-Nimoh should be resolved. Both candidates garnered 9 votes each, but none was willing to step down. The National Council was thus called upon to give a directive on the way forward. Prior to the meeting, all the party members were hopeful the National Council would take a decision acceptable by all. The Council, after hours of deliberations, took a decision that a runoff be held, but not all delegates who voted in the special delegates election will participate in September polls.
Today, National Council, which is the body that constituted the Presidential Election Committee, varied Section 25 of the rules and guidelines by the Presidential Elections Committee to read that, yes, there will be a rerun, but the rerun, the delegates will not be the special delegates or the delegate that constituted the special delegate. But however, the National Council will break the tie.
The NPP Special Delegates Conference returned with Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia as the winner with 68% of total votes cast. The Vice President won at all 17 centers. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, NPP Boakye, who championed Dr. Bawumia's campaign in the region, says the performance of the Vice President goes to disprove claims that the Ashanti region votes based on ethnicity.
The Ashantis, we are always following and choose the candidate who we believe that he can win the general elections. So we believe Bawumia can win the general elections. That is why we follow him.
Aside the landslide victory by Dr. Bawumia and the second place taken by Kennedy Agyapong, another issue that has been topical after the polls is the violence that ensued at some polling centers. There were cases of violence in the Northeast and in the Bono East regions. In Northeast, one of Kennedy Agyapong's agents was allegedly chased out of the voting area. This led to the now famous showdown comment. Northeast Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, who was at the center, however, clarified that Kennedy Agyapong's agents were not chased out of the voting area.
The Agyapong agent, after the election, he said he has to talk to his boss before he signed. And I asked him, what is the reason? Finally, he came and said his boss said he shouldn't sign. I said, based on what? Because he earlier on commented that his agent was chased out of the hall when his agent was not chased out of the hall. Thank you. The agent was there. That's it. The agent.
But one of the agents, Al-Hassan Abdul Ganiyu, says but for the actions of Mr. Agyapong, his life and that of 2 others would have been at risk.
The reportage that Honorable Kennedy has quickly responded to what has transpired, then they begin to lose down the strategies and the pressure that they were mounting on us. So there, they could now all started moving. They all started moving out. Then that is where we also had our way to move out.
The Assin Central Member of Parliament on Wednesday, despite having been hauled before the Disciplinary Committee of the party, took to social media X, previously known as Twitter, saying he acted against injustice and to protect the lives of his agents. Meanwhile, the disciplinary committee is yet to sit on the matter.
General Secretary has officially referred it to us. We are yet to meet and then to do our own investigation and come out with our decision. But I don't want to comment on it now because we haven't gone into it. Okay, so
Chairman Wontumi, however, believes that the reports of violence are not a fair reflection of what happened.
I was there personally. I was there personally when the majority leader was coming, and then Alan people was hooted at him. And you saw it. At him in the Ashanti region? Yes, they was attacking him. Why? They was attacking him. So if the same people want to, nicodemously want to turn themselves to complain, I find it very perplexed,
Alan Martin, who placed third in Saturday's polls on Tuesday, visited his campaign coordinator, who sustained injuries to the eye due to alleged brutalities. But the Northeast Regional Chairman of the party, accused of orchestrating the attack, has denied same. He explains that the coordinator attempted to attack one of his executives, but the executive acted in self-defense, which resulted in the injuries.
Nobody attacked him. He rather first earlier on want to attack the youth organizer at the process of voting. So when you want to attack, and the youth organizer was preventing himself, because if somebody wants to attack me first, he has to prevent, and when he prevents, he pushed the agent, and then he uses his face to hit a wall. And that was the incident that happened. And quickly, when I saw things like that, people were rushing. I have to protect him.
So you're saying it's an act of self-defense?
It's an act of self-defense through the youth organizer, not even me. I'm the regional chairman.
For the chairman of the disciplinary committee, the polls, regardless of the alleged violent incidents, were largely peaceful.
the fact that we recorded one or two infractions doesn't mean that we should throw our arms in desperation. Okay, generally it was peaceful. I mean 99.something% peaceful, even though we were all expecting 100% peaceful situation.
But Majority Leader Chairman Sabonsu says some of the candidates have not handled their communications in the aftermath of the polls well.
Not quite. I mean, we all hear what is coming out with some people accusing people of some of the aspirants of, trying to manipulate the elections, even though every objective person will realize that to a very large extent, this was, a very keenly contested election, and freeness and fairness can be attested to. It's transparent.
If the decision remains unchanged, what this will mean is that on September 2, the National Council will go to the polls, essentially to break the tie between Boakye Agyarko and Francis Addai-Nimoh to decide who amongst the two will join Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Kennedy Ohene Ejapon, Alan Martin, and Dr. Owusu Afriyie-Akoto to be on the ballot for November 4. Reporting for Citi News, Hansen Ajiman.